welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to show you something I've done today. Well, the last few days, in fact. I've made a little, I've sewn a little donut together out of felt. Isn't it kawaii? It's a really kawaii little donut. Kawaii meaning cute, Japanese. It's very sweet and cute. I'm very pleased with it. It took me quite a long time to do because I haven't sewn since I was a kid, and needles can be a bit faffy. And I can now knot a needle without consulting a book, and I can do it pretty quickly now. Once you know how to do it, it's really easy, and you think, why didn't I know how to do this before? You know, you just have to, and it becomes just automatic. Yeah, and it's obviously I'm a beginner, so this isn't perfect, and some of the stitches are a little bit, messy and a bit all over the place. But it's not bad for a first attempt. I mean, I think it looks pretty. I'm pleased with it. It looks pretty. It's not too bad. It's fairly neat. Some of the stitches are a little bit skewed, but it's practice, isn't it? Practice. Bearing in mind I'm not the most dexterous of people, and I misinterpreted one of the instructions. So when you're supposed to stuff it with the stuffing that comes in a pack, and you're supposed to sew a few centimetres, then put some stuffing in and sew a few centimetres, and I misinterpreted the instructions, so I sewed all the way around, and then try to put the stuffing in there, from about there, forgetting that you're supposed to sew a little bit and then put the stuffing in. So I couldn't get it all the way. I tried to go and finger it all round, but obviously I didn't want to undo the stitches I've done, so it's got more stuffing there going on there, but that doesn't matter. I know for next time. Sort of skipped a step a bit, but doesn't matter. The one thing I took me a little while to figure out was how to finish the floss at the back, to finish it so so the stitches don't come out. I know how to do it now because the instructions in the book I found a little bit confusing, and also I don't think the method in the book is the easiest. So I keep on noticing things I could have done better. Yes, you do, because I'm a perfectionist. It's alright. It's not bad. It's alright because you can't see the back anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you just see the front. Go back. Don't look at the back. Go wrong side. Look at the good side. But yeah, I found a technique on YouTube about tying up the floss at the back that is so much easier. So that's where you just put the needle under the nearest thread, make a little loop, and then wrap it around a loop and pull a knot. I just find that technique a little easier than the one in the book, so that's the one I do. Yeah, it's just these little things you have to work out, and you get it in the end. It's just practice. And this is a Klutz craft kit. It's so many treats. More than 18 food plushies to stitch and stuff. So I've done a donut. The donut is kind of like my practice one, really. So I can make the others, and hopefully next time the technique will come a bit easier. But I just keep on practicing, And the other good thing about this is that it contains everything you need. It contains the felt, it contains the thread, it contains the needle. I managed to lose one of the needles, don't know how I did it. I think it fell down the back of the bed or something. So I checked everywhere for it. It's definitely not on the floor, so I checked. It's not. But thankfully it came with 2 needles, so I'm not going to lose the other one. Yeah, I also annoyingly managed to get the floss quite tangled, because the hard bit for me is where you have to get 2 strands of the floss to thread the needle with, and I think I was a bit impatient and I sort of yanked it down, and obviously that just created knots, and that's annoying. And now I realise you're supposed to pull it out like that, so then that doesn't happen. So I know now. I think I was a bit impatient. I did it the wrong way. Live and learn. But yeah, I'm pleased with my first attempt anyway. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it looks nice. It looks pretty. I'm still pleased with it, and you have to, because it comes with templates, which I can keep, so I can keep the templates for future, and when I finish this one and I run out of felt here, I could get some more felt, and I can use the templates, and it's kind of good. It kind of, yeah, and then you think about other things you could do with the felt and stuff, like I can make my own creations. It gets you thinking about other things you could do with the felt. So yeah, it's really fun. Like I said, I'm also trying my hand at knitting, and as I was explained in my previous video, I find knitting easier than crochet. Like the technique just comes to me easier. And also I think the other reason why I find knitting easier is because there aren't so many stitches to think about. Like there's literally just 2 stitches in knitting that you have to think about. And it's just, I don't know, it just feels easier than crochet for me. I mean, obviously, like I'm not a pro yet. You know, I'm not going to be making I'm not going to be making socks or anything like that anytime soon. But I've got a very basic kids book, Kids Learn How to Knit, and that's got some very easy projects in there. So I think I'm just going to be focusing on knitting. I managed to get some needles bargain off Amazon for like only £1.50. They're just like basic plastic needles, but that's all you need for a beginner. So yeah. And also I'm going to try my hand. I did do a little bit of hand knitting following a YouTube tutorial, and I found it really easy and fun. So I got, because hand knitting is the most simplest form of knitting, you just have to get used to the moves around your fingers, so I should call it finger knitting. That's the correct way of calling it. Hand knitting implies like regular knitting, I mean like finger knitting. I got a Klutz craft kit for finger knitting, which I haven't tried out yet, but it looks good. I love the Klutz craft kits. I'm also getting a pom-pom one, which shows you how to make pom-poms on a fork. So that's that, and what else? Yeah, the other thing I enjoy doing, as you probably know, I have talked about it a little bit, I don't talk about that much on the channel, but I do really love foxes. I think they're very beautiful, very affectionate and very cute creatures, and I just love them a lot, and they're just really funny, and they just make me laugh. They're mischievous, they're crazy, they're cute, they're just endearing, and I just love them. And on YouTube, guys, I follow a channel called Save a Fox. It's an American channel. There's a young woman who she's rescued loads of foxes from I think fur farms and captivity. So these are foxes that can't be released into the wild because they've already been in captivity, and she's sort of like saved them. It's like a fox sanctuary. She's got loads and loads of land, so they have lots of freedom to roam. They're free range. She does obviously have to keep them in behind, they're obviously fenced in and have to sleep behind fences because you obviously don't want them escaping and stuff, but they have a lot of freedom to roam, and they seem to have really happy lives. Freedom to run around and everything. And one of the foxes, she's got several foxes, she's got quite a few, but one of the ones that she mainly shows on the channel is Finnegan, Dixie Doo, what's the other one called? It's gone from my head now, can't remember the other one's name, ridiculous, there's a few others, but they're the two that are shown the most, and Finnegan in particular is just extremely cute. He's very vocal, and he makes these like, sounds like he's like laughing, giggling when she strokes him, and he's really affectionate. I don't think many people realise how affectionate foxes are. They're just very, very affectionate animals. And I just love watching it. It's just so funny. So check that one out. It's called Save a Fox if you're interested in, if you like foxes. Personally, I think foxes are half cat and half dog, but they are but they basically have the best qualities of both those creatures, but are better than both. I think. I think they're infinitely better than dogs, and I just think they're really cute, and they're not aggressive at all. Like, you couldn't, I mean, obviously you get the odd, like, all animals vary individually, but like some dogs can be like really aggressive, but I'm not, to my knowledge, there's no fox that has ever killed a person or anything, or like attacked a person viciously. Obviously, unless it's got rabies, but that's different. So yeah, I think they're a lot nicer than dogs. I personally think they're a lot nicer than dogs, and yeah, and I just love foxes. So yeah. Obviously, ones that go wild are obviously naturally wary of people and keep their distance. But the ones that have been tamed, you can't think as though you can't tame them like a dog. You can't. They're not as tameable as dogs. Like you can't house train them, for example. And if you try and keep them inside, which isn't a good idea, because you can't house train them really like you can dogs or even cats. You can't house train them. They can obviously destroy things. Create a lot of mess, and they tend to pee everywhere because they like to scent mark, and you can't really stop them doing that. And also, their pee absolutely stinks, so it's not really a good idea to keep a fox inside. I don't condone keeping them as pets anyway. Obviously, Save a Fox is different because, they should be free and wild, but Save a Fox is different because these are foxes that have already been in captivity, so she's just kind of rescued them. It's not like she's decided to keep them as pets or anything, and they're not pets in the true sense anyway, but she saved them from captivity, because otherwise they'd have to be put down, which, it's not nice. It wouldn't be very nice. So, yeah, she's done them a good deed. Again, obviously, I was talking in my previous video about vaccination, and I'm speaking to a psychologist today, and I'm going to ask her to write that letter, because the GP seemed to be, I think there's some miscommunication. The GP seemed to think I was talking about the spring, and obviously I wasn't. I was talking about the autumn. I think my dad must have inadvertently said the spring when he meant the autumn, so the GP was like, obviously I'm not eligible now, and obviously I know that, and I was like talking about the autumn, and the GP said he has to wait for government guidance or something, but obviously I want to have reassurance before that time, because otherwise I get very anxious. So I'm going to ask the psychologist to write that letter, and hopefully that will, it's really annoying and frustrating the way you always have to fight for your needs, like when they should just know about them already. It's like you constantly have to go over the same old stuff, constantly reiterating all your issues can be very wearing. It'd be good if I could just know once and for all, and then that's kind of done and dusted, instead of you always having to fight for things. It's just very frustrating. But anyway, thank you for watching.